Hello, everybody. So your infinite overlord, Mark Zuckerberg, has made a new announcement regarding his sort of famous social media site, Facebook. You might have heard of it. He's made a new announcement regarding the algorithm that he'll be using to sort out what sort of news sources you see in your newsfeed. And he's going to determine which sites are the most, quote, trustworthy, based on, I guess, some surveys that he's going to allow his users to fill out. So you might say, at first glance, well, gee, I'm usually pretty skeptical about these things, but in this particular case, this sounds very democratic. He's going to let people fill out surveys, and they're going to be able to say what news sources they find trustworthy. Well, that's good. That works. You might say that, but I think you'd be wrong. And the reason I think you'd be wrong is because I think you have to take a good long look at two things. Firstly, you have to take a good long look at just how smart Mark Zuckerberg is. I mean, whether or not you like the guy, and I certainly don't think I do, because of I don't like some things that he's done with regard to the censorship of opinions on Facebook and some other things he said. But he's a smart guy, and he knows what he's doing. And then the other thing I think you have to look at is the user base of Facebook. Because, I mean, in case you haven't noticed, these people are not exactly fucking quantum physicists. These people are not exactly the intellectual cream of the crop. And I'm sorry if that may sound somewhat elitist to you. But you know what? Maybe it is elitist. Because, I don't want some 23-year-old Starbucks barista who takes 30 bathroom selfies a day with some ugly little pug dog named Mr. Britches poking out of her $450 purse, determining what access I have to information. I just don't want that, because I have a feeling that person is going to believe whatever that person is told to believe. In fact, I know that person is going to believe whatever that person is told to believe, and that's the kind of people who use Facebook. Okay, I mean, most people, unless you're running a business or you're a public figure of some sort, I mean, most people are on to the game that social media is playing with us. Most people are on to the data collection. They're on to the fact that your data is just being bought and sold, and everyone's spying on you and listening to you, and people don't want it. People don't want to exchange their privacy for some kind of fake, simulated, cold, impersonal internet contact with people that they never even fucking see in their daily lives. Most healthy, intelligent, psychologically adjusted people don't want that, I would suggest. So the result is that what you're left with on Facebook is like, not the cream of the crop, let's just say that. So I think that Mark Zuckerberg is very smart here, and he knows exactly what he's doing. He's essentially crafted a very cunning and intelligent marketing ploy to cover censorship as some kind of, I guess the word would be democratic consensus. He's covering censorship, and he's found a way to label it as a democratic consensus. Because he knows that those people are going to say, hey, CNN is the most trusted news source on the planet. He knows that. He's smart enough. he knows that these people are going to say, well, MSNBC, well, they're not going to lie. Boy, they've got a great track record. NBC didn't try to, he knows he's not playing to people like you or me. We might know, for example, that even, just to pull a random example out of the air, let's go all the way back to the 90s. There's a fun one when NBC blew up a truck, literally blew up a truck, exploded a truck. They literally planted explosive devices on a truck and blew it up so that they could fake a story against GM about faulty gas tanks or gas caps. I think gas tanks. You can't make this stuff up, people. And I believe that piece aired on Dateline, and they were caught. And they issued a retraction. And you can search that video out on YouTube and find it if you'd like. It's up there. So, just a few other points here regarding this that I should point out. So I got this information according to Reuters. The new guidelines will reduce the amount of news in the news feed by 20%, from about roughly 5% it's at right now to 4%. That may not sound like a lot, but it's a 20% reduction, and I think it's significant. Facebook will not be releasing the results of the surveys. Of course. Of course they're not going to release the results of the surveys, because those surveys are all going to say CNN is God and Fox News is crap. And of course, speaking of Fox News, the last point I have here is, and maybe this is our last hope regarding this whole problem, News Corp, the company that owns Fox News, has pledged to look for any signs that the social media giant is weighing stories in a manner that gives preference against, that would give preference against conservatives. Now, News Corp is, I'm leery to throw all my support and hopes behind them, but I don't see any other outlet that could potentially have the reach to hold this company accountable. Even News Corp, even with all of the media that News Corp owns, they're not going to be able to hold Facebook accountable, because, Facebook is just... I honestly think Facebook is infinitely more influential than News Corp or really any of the big giant media conglomerates out there. So I think that if Zuckerberg wants us, he has us right where he wants us, and he always has, and he's just slowly starting to wake up to that. Anyway, you might disagree with me, that's fine, but that's all I have to say on this topic, so take it easy, everyone.